Jimmy James Madison didn't give two flips about anyone. Polk's manifest destiny didn't work out for the Cherokee. Jimmy James, he said, the purpose of the government is to protect the minority of the opulent from the majority.
My guest today just released a new album, Pamela Means and the Reparations, live at North Fire, which was recorded, as it says, live at North Fire Recording Studio in Amherst, Massachusetts. And this is coming off our previous EP in 2018 called Impeachment Now. And with songs such as Impeachment Now, Color of the Skin, Hands Up, it's pretty easy to see where she's coming from. She's a musician who pulls no punches and offers little separation between what's in her heart and what's on her mind and the topics that she sings about. So welcome to Freedom Sings, Pamela Means.
Glad to be here.
It's definitely good to have you. And I want to first allow you to give a little bit of love to the Reparations. So who are your collaborators on this brand new album, Pamela Means and the Reparations?
The Reparations include me and two other women who actually were in a band together. Their names are Cinnamon Blair, who plays bass and sings, and I Shay, who plays percussion and sings. And the two of them have other projects going on, and I met them at a gig they had with one of their other bands, and they're the only two women in that particular band called Rebirth, and I saw them, and I thought, I want to steal them. I want to see if they might work with me, and I persisted, and then they joined me, and it was really fun, and we've had not a lot of gigs, but started to play a little bit more frequently in the past year. The first time we ever played together was October 2016, so it's taken a while to build up to this moment, and but I'm very excited. I'm just sad that we can't be on the road right now promoting, because that was part of the dream for this year.
But we're definitely excited that your album is just released. It's a fantastic album. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And I'll go ahead and jump right in, and we'll talk a little bit about one of the songs, which is Color of the Skin. And then hopefully we can get you to play that, and then we'll talk some more about the album. But Color of the Skin it starts out interestingly to me, because you talk about your dad and who grew up in Covington, Tennessee, which is north of Memphis, for those of you who do not know, and son of a sharecropper, so it says in the song. And so that's not too far away from where I am in Northwest Alabama. Your dad was born in 1936. My dad was born in 1935, also son of a sharecropper.
Wow.
And so there are definitely some connections right at the beginning of the song. But tell me a little bit about sort of what this song is about for you, kind of why you were led to record it, and also how it may have been influenced, maybe a chicken and an egg kind of thing, of one of the organizations that you support or movements that you support, which is Black Lives Matter. So how does that sort of movement tie into this song, which is Color of the Skin?
Sometimes, I wrote that song in November of 2014, and I wrote it the day the grand jury in Ferguson, Missouri decided not to prosecute the police officer who killed Michael Brown Jr. And like much of the nation that day, I was feeling grief and rage and injustice for Michael Brown Jr. and his family, and countless others with the same story, including my own relatives, including my own life of being racially profiled on a regular basis. And sometimes I introduce that song and say that I wrote it in 10 minutes plus a lifetime. because I look like this. I'm biracial and grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which does have some good, loving people there, but it's also it earned for itself the term hyper-segregation, hyper-segregated city. And so, I've had my own experiences, like I said, whether being pulled over for no reason seemingly, and had a negative story after that, and my stories are minimal compared to being murdered by the police, but it's all in the same pool of being viewed as suspect for just how I look. Mm-hmm. And other people who look like me, and my family members and friends and loved ones. And so it was all of the, well, probably not all, that's too much to bear, but much of the built up rage and grief of my own life, and watching this same story unfold so many times. And look how many times it's happened since then. And so that incident was really in my memory, the spark of the Black Lives Matter movement. Mm-hmm. And so I've been aware of it and committed to it since then, but it was brand new at that time, and I'm glad that it's still persisting, right. And accept that it still has reason to be, and that's the terrible part.
Right. Yeah. 6 years later, and not a whole lot has changed since then at all. I'm going to get you to play the song for us. And, one thing that I will let our viewers know who don't know you is you definitely are not an artist who uses a lot of veiled references or metaphor or allegorical tales to get your point across. You just say it how it is, and it's definitely refreshing, and it is so heartfelt, you can tell. And this is one of those songs, it immediately strikes you with the power of the song. And if you're ready to play it, I would love for you to play Color of the Skin for us right now.
Father grew up in Jim Crow, Tennessee, a sharecropper son, far from luxury. Moved up north in 1952, and a damn thing changed from his point of view. His point of view. Now I've been pulled over on a Shorewood shoulder, asked where you going, where you been. Ain't none of your business. Don't I look like an American? You're gonna think what you want now, don't you? I didn't know the side of the road was a courtroom. Darker comes out in the light. We keep marching on, but our souls are tired. 'Cause here we are again, a black man gone 'cause of the color of his skin. The color of his skin. I was grown and groomed in the Great Lakes Midwest, where politeness covers up years of repressed tight lips, tight asses, too slow to grow, hyper-segregated masses, and I had to go. I seen the Rodney King riots in 1992, a black president. I seen that too, but ain't a damn thing changed from my point of view. Ain't a damn thing changed from my point of view. our souls are tired. 'Cause here we are again, here we are again. A black child gone 'cause of the color of her skin. Everything darker comes out in the light. We keep marching on, but our souls are tired. 'Cause here we are again, here we are again. A black child gone 'cause of the color of the skin. The color of the skin. The color of our skin. The color of the skin.
Yeah, the crowd roars. But yeah, it's again a fantastic song that is from the new album, Pamela Means and the Reparations, live at North Fire.
Picture of it.
Yeah, yes, definitely. Very good. And that's and I know for sure because I got my copy through Bandcamp. But where else might people be able to find the album?
It should be available on all the usual favorite platforms, iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, Bandcamp, which is friendlier to independent musicians. We get more of the money. And you can order physical copies from my website and from Bandcamp as well, and I'll mail them to you.
Okay. And I'll definitely link to all of that below, so so you guys can take a look, look at the links, go to your favorite spot, and make sure that you listen to the music and ideally buy the music. So I'm sure that would be much appreciated these days during quarantine and not many shows for you. Um, the second song from the album that I want to talk about a little bit is another very powerful song. It doesn't have a lot of kind words for the NRA, which I definitely approve of, and that's the song Hands Up. And I want to talk about how that also probably is connected to a movement that you're interested in. I know that you're currently active in the Defund the Police movement, and we'll hear in the song Hands Up some of those reasons why. But what can you tell us? I know people get really baffled, seemingly, by that term, defund the police. And what can you tell us about, your work with that movement and what sort of that term means to you?
Well, I think it's. I wish there were a better term, a more accurate one, and even more defensiveness against the term "abolish the police."
Mm-hmm.
My understanding of the defund the police movement is to, decades ago, there started this government program of the military giving their hand-me-downs to police departments around the country. So suddenly local cops have tanks and all this intense military gear, which I think is unnecessary. So that's a sliver of it. But I believe the movement wants to draw attention to how much mental illness and other sorts of social distress that occur, and people call 911, and the police are trained to deal with crime and violent crime, not someone having a panic attack or over too many drugs or something, or whatever makes someone have a breakdown. And those people need support, and there are people who are trained to help in those avenues of need. So the Defund the Police movement is to take some of these millions and millions of dollars and give some of that money to other support structures that can attend to the crucial need without violence, and I just think police are trained for a specific list of things, and I don't know, I don't speak too well. I need to to be able to articulate more of it. But it's not about we don't need police. We need police to stop over policing and stop overreacting and stop escalating. And there needs to be more emphasis, perhaps more training or retraining on de-escalation and never using violence, or using it as a very last resort, not the first choice, or even first, second, and third choice. So it's really about dividing some of the labor and paying more attention to the different types of need that exist in our country. And I think that would naturally create less violence. So like that sad story of a guy in Rochester
Mm-hmm.
who was having a moment. He was found naked in the street. Now he's dead. What if there were a social worker or a therapist who went on that call with the police, or who went there first, or a couple of them,
Right.
and tried to intervene in a nonviolent, de-escalating, peaceful way? What would he still be here today? Probably.
Right.
So it's more like that. So.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely an important movement and something to think about. And it's certainly something that we need to rethink as a society how we want our money used. And as we've seen example after example, and as your song certainly alludes to, is that money, is that taxpayer money being used in the best way with the police in its current form? And so, again, the song that you have on the album, Pamela Means and the Reparations, live at North Fire. The song is called Hands Up, which is a fantastic, again, another very powerful song from the album. So if you would go ahead and play that for us, we would love to hear it.
I want to say, like, I wrote this song in a big slobbery puddle of tears. So the words are simple and to the point, but that was after stripping away many layers and, slobbering over a page and trying to, like sharpening a pencil, just get it to its sharpest point without redundancy. I think that's often my goal. And this particular song, Hands Up, I wrote it after music. First of all, music has always been a life raft for me and a buoy, and it's helped me deal and survive the things that I've talked about, and just walking around in a world looking like this, and a world that's designed to have people who look like me not thrive. And I'm queer, I'm biracial, and I'm a woman, and a winner.
That's right.
So I wrote this song. I had been working for a few months trying to write a song that was overtly Black Lives Matter themed, and it just wasn't very good. So it was pretty bad. You just got to write. You have to be okay with writing a lot of crap and sifting through it to see if there's one little shiny piece down there in the bottom. And this was sort of like one of those. And so the Pulse nightclub massacre in Orlando, Florida happened, and I kind of very much like the Michael Brown Jr. day and other days. I just curled up in a ball and had all kinds of feelings, mostly grief and rage. Plus, it was mostly gay people, LGBTQ people who were killed that night. And in my tears and snot, I picked up the guitar and just started, playing around, and came up with this groove and started singing some of the words. I probably had some of the words already left over from trying, like the Hands Up probably already existed. But then the song sort of began to take form rather quickly. And after I finished it, at first I felt bad because I was writing in response to queer people being mowed down when I had been writing a song about Black Lives Matter. And was I diluting the Black Lives Matter part of the song? And then I realized, well, I am all of those things. And all of these issues are intersected. You can't tear down one without addressing another. And so that gave me a little bit of peace to go ahead and sing the song. So it's a combination of all those things, but it's all like one big soup. Like, and also like, how hard is it to want peace and justice for everyone? Like, how does that hurt someone else? What is in someone's heart that wants to prevent another person from having happiness and love and peace and justice? Hands up, don't shoot. I'm tough, not bulletproof. Gonna love out loud, not afraid. Gonna march down Main in a pride parade. No closets, no shame. Yes, love, no hate. Hands up, don't shoot. We're tough, not bulletproof. It's not the gun, it's the trigger. It's the bullet in the chamber sent to kill a stranger by a hateful, deranged figure. It's not the gun, it's the trigger. It's the bullet in the chamber sent to kill an anger by a hateful, deranged figure. Hands up, don't shoot. We're tough, not bulletproof. Hands up, don't shoot. We're tough, not bulletproof. Ho, hey, NRA, how many souls did you kill today? Ho, hey, NRA, how many souls did you kill today? Ho, hey, NRA, how many deaths to facilitate? Ho, hey, NRA, how many hearts did you break today? Hands up, don't shoot. We're tough, not bulletproof. Hands up, don't shoot. We're tough, not bulletproof.
Yay. Hey there, I want to thank Pamela Means for being my guest on this particular episode of Freedom Sings. Pamela was very generous with her time. The interview went long. I loved talking to her, loved hearing her music. So we are going to do a part 2. So you have just watched part 1 of the interview with Pamela Means, and I certainly invite you to come back next week for the next episode of Freedom Sings and check out what she has to say again, and also a couple more songs.